A lot's talked about every year that there's every game that there's a tie. We should have a better way to determine the outcome. It's really something when it comes down into tie games and the playoffs, and they didn't like the way the game ended. We get that as well. So, look, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to give you, I want your opinion on how you would like to, as a fan, see the games determined with regard to overtime or not. Remember, though, before we do that, subscribe, like, and share so that you don't miss any of our football content. Look, here's some possibilities. Let me throw them out. Some of them that I vehemently disagree with, but I'm just throwing ideas. You may have some others. Bring it. Do you want to have an overtime to 15 minutes with a new end game? Full 15 minutes. Play the game the way it was meant to be played. Don't mess with the rules, because just play a 15-minute game. And if they're still tied after 15 minutes, shift to maybe an alternative way. Maybe the two-point conversion in college, which I hate, by the way. Some people like it. So, again, your thoughts. So, maybe have 15 minutes. Just extend the game for 15 minutes. The college system, do you like it? I hate it. But some people do. If you put the ball at the 20, at the 30, pick a spot. In today's offensive world, people like that. Get plenty of time to, possessions to either stay alive, not involving the clock. I don't like it, but what do you think about that? Maybe you go through it. Certainly would make it quicker. I don't know if better. How about you can do some things, revive sudden death, but maybe with a twist. So maybe you bring back sudden death, and the old problem with the old version, it was so arbitrary. A coin toss determined which team got the ball first, and thus the first chance to win in sudden death. And that, with today's offensive rules, not all that riveting to have a coin toss. I think there are two things. The coin toss combined with the offensive explosion and the very, very efficient kicking made that very, very difficult. So we took away that and said, okay, you got to score a touchdown. So I think you could maybe look at that. Some may say, how about just eliminate the clock? Do away with immediate sudden death, because the league doesn't want the outcome to be determined by a coin toss. Both offenses should get an opportunity to contribute to the outcome, went to thinking. Even if the offenses score a touchdown. Fair enough. The solution is simple to continuing using the current format, but eliminate the clock factor. Make overtime period 15 minutes long, and if the score is still tied, and after the first two possessions, go to sudden death. After each overtime period ends, you roll into the next one. Obviously, a defensive score from either side instantly ends the game. What's your thoughts on that? There's some other things that have been brought to the table. A 7-on-7 passing challenge. Don't get me started. I think that's awful. But if you like it, go ahead and have your time. There's some other thoughts in regular season. Ditch overtime entirely. There's a couple of things. In the regular season, is it the worst thing to have a tie? It's half a win, it's half a loss. What if you made it more aggressive? They would never do this. If you don't win the game, it's a loss, meaning both teams get a loss in the column. That's not going to ever fly. But, what do you think about that? The league was fine with regular season overtimes for 54 years before it began in 1974. People don't like ties, so we're not going to go back to the tie system, but what do you think? Do you think ties in the regular season are all that bad? Certainly we have to have a plan for overtime in the postseason, but how you do that. Those are just some thoughts. What are your thoughts? Give me your feelings. Again, subscribe, like, and share, but we're asking for your thoughts on what you think are the best ways to combat the issue of ties in the NFL. Do you think it's all that bad? Again, I've given you some ideas, some of them not my ideas, but ideas that have been brought to me, some of them that I do not like. I want you to have a chance weigh in on this right now. Appreciate you joining us. Check us out at LandryFootball.com, and make sure that you subscribe, like, and share. Spread the word, and make sure you give us the feedback.